Okay guys, so in this video we're going to talk very much about the trail palm, okay, because it's going to play a significant role coming in towards the downswing position. And this is going to be a slightly different video to what you have possibly heard before, and it possibly give you a different sort of sensation, and that's what's key, okay, because amateur golfers, the common tendency is that when you hit the golf ball, the hands get outraced to the ball by the club head. So you end up looking something like so. And the reason for this is because your hands don't keep moving, okay, as I'm demonstrating here, they don't keep moving ahead, okay, of the ball itself. And that's what we know. Pros lead with the hands, like so the hands always stay forward, which is why it's very common that we see a lot of the greatest swings with this sort of sawn off through swing position. Whilst there's what's very common with most amateur golfers is very much the opposite, where the arms end up very bent this way. And one of the biggest differences, like I say, is the hands, and one of the biggest feelings that you can have is with the palm. And what you want to try to do is you want to feel like the right palm, or your trail palm, is pointing out in front of you, like so, okay, more this way. Now that goes against current narrative, because a lot of people talk about pointing the palm down to the ground, and I understand that. I do. I understand why people talk like that, because they'll talk about the club face and they'll talk about trying to get the club face really square. But the issue is you've got to keep the hands moving through. Okay, so if I end up sort of literally getting the feeling of my right palm pointing down to the ground like so, then you can see the way my hands are going to end up getting really stuck and the club head's going to overtake the hands like this. And what we're trying to do is keep the hands moving through. So if you were to then keep the hands moving through, you'll notice the way your palm faces much more out in front of you. See what I'm demonstrating this way. So you want to try and get the sense that your palm faces out in front of you, and you want to try and retain as much of that wrist angle as you can, or that right wrist hinge as you can, coming in towards this downswing position. See the way I'm bringing my arm like this. So this arm is straightening, but see the way I'm coming down and my hand is facing as far forward as possible, because if you incorporate a bit of body turn in there, you're only going to need to do a small amount to square that club face up with arm rotation. And again, one of the feelings that I'd like you to explore with this is if you imagine that you went down, you know, the local lake or whatever, and you were going to skim some stones, you kind of wouldn't do this sort of feeling of, no, you'd do that. You'd keep that very much upward facing. You'd keep the palm more upward facing. And this is the thing that Hogan used to talk about, was, you know, he used to talk about the importance of almost having 3 right arms in the golf swing, because he would talk a lot about that sort of throw, bringing this arm down this way and then releasing it through as you swing through. And that's massively what I would be agreeing with. I think nowadays the idea of squaring the club face and, you know, getting it this way, I think I can understand it, but equally, like I say, I just feel like all that happens with a lot of golfers that I meet is they get very stuck and very flicky, and that's why I think it's worth you practicing the feeling of that skimming a stone analogy, and just try and hit some shots with that right hand more forward facing, particularly as you come in towards the late downswing here. See where my hand is, and then as you turn, and then there'll be that little bit of squaring at the bottom, and if you can do that, you will start to notice a significant difference with compression. So work on it, let me know. I'll see you soon.